there might be some specific questions for those folks. Otherwise, I'm going to go to the vast majority of the people in the room. Okay, so thank you. So here's just a quick start. Let me see if I can get this to play.
CrashPlan is endpoint backup software that enables organizations to secure their most important data, get work done from anywhere, and always bounce back. No matter where, when, or how your employees like to work, their data is continuously backed up and preserved for when disaster strikes. Stuff happens. We accidentally delete files, corrupt data during upgrades, overwrite important information, and lose work in more unexpected ways. In just a couple clicks, users can restore some or all of their files, including what they were working on just minutes before losing data. And CrashPlan works on every major OS, so Windows, Mac, and Linux users are all equally protected. It's eventually going to be time to move from old and busted laptops to the new hotness. Most orgs call this device migration or tech refresh. CrashPlan backs up every 15 minutes so users can pick up precisely where they left off before starting the migration. If a ransomware attack targets your workforce, CrashPlan lets each impacted user roll back the clock and restore their computer to a point moments before the attack happened. By securing their IP with CrashPlan, organizations maintain productivity and take the power away from cyber criminals. At most organizations, legal hold requests cause clashes between legal and IT. But with CrashPlan, the legal team can now initiate legal holds from a web app, no IT help required. And the CrashPlan API integrates with eDiscovery software, so you can easily collect files for eDiscovery straight from your existing solution. Whether you're a small business looking for simple backups or a large corporation looking for an enterprise solution, CrashPlan is secure, scalable, straightforward endpoint backup. Find out more or start a trial at crashplan.com.
Okay, thank you. That was, felt like it was a really good overview of what CrashPlan is. So it's endpoint backup. To give you a little bit of idea of how this actually works, is we have an agent that goes on the machine, and what the agent does is it initially, and I should mention this is it's a software program, so you don't have to do anything as a user, right? It gets put on your work machine, and then right away it starts taking an initial backup of all your data. Let's see if we can share this. So right away it starts taking an initial backup of all your data, and we're going to secure that in the cloud. And then the minute that, let's say I drop this device, or heaven forbid, I click on the wrong link and I have ransomware or something like that, I can very easily go back to my, get my data right away. So that's one of the things that we do. Let me see if I can share this. I don't know what happened.
The left side, the left side.
I mean, this is fine, but thanks for your help.
Well, listen, you're in the right place and at the right time. That's my baby. Definitely do it.
All right. Thank you very much for your help. Learn something new every day. Okay, so I mentioned that an agent goes on your endpoint. And so if I click on the top of my screen here, this little C, that's the agent. I'm going to open it up and just show you how easy this is to use. Okay, so if you're a user, you could go in and restore any of your files at any point from our cloud. Right here, what it's saying is we are backing it up to 2 locations right now, the US East and the US West. Backed up every, it's been 15 minutes. It automatically runs a backup step. If I wanted to restore files, like let's say I damaged my computer or I brought this up on another computer, I can just quickly go to this restore. And most people will click right here and they'll go include my deleted files. Because if you have any deleted files, that's what a lot of people want to restore, say from 6 months ago or something. Oh, I forgot about that file, I want to bring it. But this is just as simple as going right into the documents. You can click to exactly what you want and go ahead and restore based on whichever known date you'd like to. So we have unlimited cloud storage. And so you really wouldn't want to get all the data on your endpoint. So you're not missing anything. You can go to that point and go ahead and click this push restore, and right there, just like that, boom, I can restore my data to my using CrashPlan. Does that seem pretty easy? Any other questions? So I have an administrator view as well, but I know there's only a handful of you in the room that would look at that, so I want to be cognizant of that as well.
So how much data
So it'll back up the minute that the agent is on the machine. It starts taking the backup right there, and then as long as it's on, then it'll be on forever. So I mean, as long as you're paying for the licenses. So I mean, it's not like it's a end all be all, but Cornell's been a customer of ours for a long time.
Is there a limit to how much you can restore?
There's a technical limit. The way that we do it at CrashPlan is that we have an algorithm that we restore based on the files that you've most recently used. So in that way, you can be up and running within 15 minutes of where it failed. And then behind the scenes, we'll start restoring the most recent files to the ones that you haven't touched in a while. So we also peer with the internet too. So you're gonna get some of that bandwidth. So we're 5 to 9 times faster in restore than any of the competitors on the market. So that's really the important part. If you have backup and recovery, it's kind of like an insurance. You know, if you really need it, well, you want to be able to get it right away. And the one thing that we do with CrashPlan is we're able to provide that restore very quickly, within some limits. Any other questions? So anything that I know there's probably some people, we do also have a consumer product. So folks might be familiar with that as well. A lot of folks, we've been around for 20 years, so some people have been using the consumer product. And then we have an enterprise product that allows you to really deploy it on machines. And you know, to give you an idea, we usually have about 1 person per 30,000 machines. So it's very not time resource intensive.
If you may come over, say I have a laptop with us, and you restore the same file on both?
Great question, and I'm glad you brought that up. So with our enterprise product one that Cornell has, we license per user. So each user can have up to 6 devices. So one of the things that you can do is if you're working at the office and you needed something from your desktop at home, you can log on to our web console and restore it there if you needed to. The other thing is you know, 6 devices, most people will never get to that amount, but you know, it's the way that we do the backup set is by the user. So if you wanted to push it to any other device, assuming that it's available from your administrator, you can do that. Great question. Any other questions? I can hop into a administrator view if you like, just to kind of, sometimes that spurs some questions as well. So, just like I said, this is what an administrator is looking at. They're going to get all the reports of, you know, how much data is getting backed up within the organization, how healthy is the backup set, when's the last time some of these devices have connected and so forth. So I want to make it clear this is for what administrators would be looking at for the most part, but I think it describes the same thing. If I wanted to restore some data, I'm going to bring up David Francis here. And so what you had mentioned earlier, David's got 2 devices here. One of them, this first one in the red, is 100% backed up, but it hasn't been online for 3.5 months. Okay. Then this other one here, which is also attached to David, this second device, it's been backed up. Most recently, it's in a healthy state. Now, if I wanted to click on, let's say Dave's most current device, and let's say they call my help desk and they're like, hey, Dave needs to restore his data, I can go right to my administrator console. I can go right to the his device, and I can go ahead and click on restore. And we use what we call our web restore function, and we can push that restore out to Dave. Okay, so Dave says, yeah, my computer's a mess. I just spilled my cappuccino all over it. I need these files because I have an important meeting in 2 hours. They call the help desk, boom, they can put it right on your machine like that. Or you could go back to the self-restore, which I showed earlier. So it's not complicated technology. There's probably more complicated technology here, but it does its job really well. And we have a lot of customers that depend on it. And a lot of the reason why the universities like it is because we don't put any limits on the egress or ingress, data. So it's unlimited storage. You don't have to worry about what to cover, send it all there. And then when you bring it back, you're not paying anything for that either. You're going to get it back to your machine 5 to 9 times faster than anybody else. So then that's really where it counts. When you need to restore some of those things. All right. Any other questions?
Can I restore temporarily to a community device?
Yeah, as long as you have the access. So there's a lot of role-based access control and so forth. That's a part of it. But yeah, to give you an idea, you can literally set it up as flexible as you want. We've got some universities say, hey, you know what? I don't want anybody to have to do anything. Fine. We have others that say, you know what? I want them to be able to, if they want to use a self-service tool and restore something on their own, that's great. In fact, our data, most of it, I would say, is about 80 to 85% is in self-restores. So that could be a combination of, help desk promoting into, but for the most part, it's something that sets us apart from the competition. But it's not as invasive on your resources from IT desk as well. The other thing I should mention, which is really big, is each organizational unit within the different departments can have their own separate autonomy. Okay, so you can realize the benefits of the volume purchasing through Cornell, but you can have your own administrative rights, your own unit, supported by your own teams and so forth. So it's a situation where a lot of universities and colleges really like that because they have different needs. They have people supporting them. So you can have that autonomy as well.
With us this afternoon.
Is that any other questions?
Make your way to the demo space at 125.
Well, I appreciate everybody's time. I'm going to be here. I'm happy to answer any questions or just general questions in general. I know we've been around for a while, and happy to answer any myths, or if you can stump me like you did. That's always possible too. Thank you very much.
Thank you.